Today, I wanted to talk about the 5 stages of grief. I hope you all had a great weekend. I will be honest with you, I had a migraine headache um, this weekend that really affected my ability to be mobile. And I don't know where this thing came from out of the blue, but I literally had to change the way that I about um, spoke about how I was feeling. I literally was in the bed for 2 days. I did take some time to go to the park and walk my dog on. In your grief process, whether this is brand new for you, I call it the shock phase because at this point in your grief process, your mind has been dealt a devastating blow, and you just cannot believe that this just happened to the person, or if it's a job, the loss of a job, if it's a pet, you cannot believe that this happened to your animal that you love so dearly. There's 5 stages of grief: acceptance, denial, depression, anger, and then acceptance. Those are the 5 stages. When you are in the denial phase stages, when you are in the denial phase, that is the fresh pain point that is the fresh pain point that doesn't allow you to feel any sense of peace. You're just struggling to figure out why this happened to the person that you lost. Um, it is painful. I went through this phase alone for 6 months. And just because there are these 5 phases of grief doesn't mean you're going to experience all of them. Um, some of you will only experience denial. Some of you will experience denial and then anger. Anger could be caused by, being mad at God because you think He took that person or that thing for you and you can't make sense of it. You could be angry if your relationship was not in a good place, and maybe the relationship that you were in, it was toxic and you were used to dealing with that person and that toxic level. It could be anger because, why did this happen? Why did you take this person from me when I was so happy? Could be caused by a lot of things. Depression, that was my second phase. I didn't go through anger. I was depressed because I was in the best relationship of my entire life. Um, you know, when you find someone who is your person and you know they're your person, it is the most painful thing to lose this person. Um, I was depressed to the point where I wasn't taking care of myself. You're looking at me in this live right now, and I have my makeup on, and I'm feeling good. Um, I'm stronger. But there was a time, guys, when I just was not getting up, barely brushing my teeth, just in total shock, depressed because I was so happy. And, why at this point in our lives, when we had just settled in a town that we didn't know about, this is something we talked about, was where could we live outside of California that we could love. It turned out to be Springfield because of work, and being there um, felt good every time we came back. And so at this point in my life, I was depressed because we were supposed to share what I'm experiencing right now together, owning a home. living the rest of our days there, you know, and occasionally going to see family or having family come to see us, which they have. I've had two brothers, my sister in law, and my aunt come to Springfield, Missouri. They've all seen the house, all love it. But I was depressed, y'all, because I'm supposed to be sharing this with my husband. Um, then I went through the acceptance phase, which is where I'm at right now. And, I'll tell you, this is a great place to be. I've accepted what has happened. I skipped through the other phase, and I'm in a position that I wanted to be over a year ago. I spoke this into existence. And so, whatever phase that you are in your grieving process, I want you to understand that none of this is abnormal. You're not crazy for feeling the way that you feel right now. You are in this situation because you got to get to the other side. I have learned in my lifetime that everything that happens, and I know this is cliche, it happens for a reason. What were the lessons that you were supposed to learn from the person or the situation or the career or, whatever it is that you lost? What did it bring of value to you? And how can you turn that value into something positive? I told you before, in the case of losing my daughter, I got involved with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, but I'm not even talking about you from a standpoint of what you can get involved with. I'm talking about from a standpoint of you recognizing that you have to save you. You have to save you. Listen, you're here on this earth. There's something that you are supposed to do. There's something greater than the pain of the loss that you feel. And in order for you to get to that, you have got to get to this other side. And I've said this before as well, that if that means getting a counselor or a coach, someone to walk you through your grieving process, finding a support, whatever you have to do to, you got to recognize that you're stronger than you think you are. You're capable of doing difficult things. You're capable of doing challenging things. You're awesome and amazing, and you have so much to give to the world. You just don't know it yet because you're deep in the pain that you're feeling, and rightfully so. But don't stay there. Don't stay there. Get to a place where you find strength. Um, the last few weeks for me, I've been feeling so strong, y'all, in spite of this headache I had over the weekend. But as a person, I've felt so strong that I've been able to pick myself up even when I didn't want to. And every time I get to a place where I'm going into that dark mode, I start talking my way out of it. Come on, D, we got to get up. Come on, D, let's go clean the house. Let's go do some yard work. D, let's get outside. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you ask or think, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. You can get through the very thing that you think you can't. And the only way you're going to know this is you got to get up. That was one of the biggest challenges for me was getting up. I had people around me who were supporting me, and I'm so thankful for those people. People who called me on the phone, who loved me as far as they could, but the rest was up to me, and it's up to you to be able to get to a place where you know that you know that you know you got to move because you will get to the other side. And while you are working your way there, you got to start making your list. Get up in the morning, meditate for a minute, 5 minutes, if that's all you have. Then I want you to write down your experiences. What are you feeling in that day? After you write down what you're feeling in that day, just start seeing yourself getting to the other side of that feeling for that day. Take it one day at a time. When you get through that thing, you got to sit down and you got to start making lists that will allow you to start planning for your future. What do you expect to experience in the future? What do you see yourself accomplishing? And if you're not there, no pressure, but eventually I want you to start envisioning yourself on the other side of all of this, because there will be another side. And when you get there, what is the next step? Okay. One day at a time is what I want you to do, and what I want you to think about as you're going through these grieving stages. Find yourself a support group. If you go online, Google, and just type in online grief support or something that has to do with grief support, find a group either on Facebook, Instagram, if that's what you need. If it's, you've gotten to the place where your family has done all they can do, your friends have done all they can do, and now you need some outside resources, because there's going to be some things, especially you widows, that you got to get in place. You got to sit down. If that person was your whole support financially, you have now got to figure out, how are you going to live? Did they leave you some type of retirement plan? You got to get to where you're functioning. And I don't want to overwhelm you right now, but these are things you got to look into. If you've never thought about this, you might need to call Social Security and find out if your husband or significant other had some sort of income that can help you financially. Did they have a retirement plan? What type of resources financially are available to you? Um, how did they live? Were they a lifetime person at their career or whatever? If so, is there money through that company? These are all things that when you come through those 5 stages of grief, at whatever point that you're at, you're going to have to find out where the finances are, where the money is, especially if you don't work. And then you're going to have to make a list of your debts. What are the debts that you and your spouse had? Did they have a checking or savings account? If your name wasn't on the account, you're going to have to bring their birth certificate, their driver's license, their social security card, and you got to go to the bank and find out. I mean, these are all things that I have learned that I had to do, y'all. And it's going to take you getting through your grief to be able to understand um, how you get to this next level. So I'm telling you all these things because I had to go through them myself. It was not easy to talk about, where I needed to be, what was going on. I didn't want to call his job, you know. I didn't want to ask them for his financial situations. I didn't want to have to, um, you know, just look into anything that was going to help me, but I'm thankful that I did. And I'm still on that path. You might need to find out if there's unclaimed money that your husband or significant other. These are just things you're going to have to get to a place where you get focused enough to handle your business. All right, guys, I didn't want to stay on long. I am at work right now, but I just wanted to, bring to your attention some things that you need to think about. What stage of grief are you in? Once you find out what stage of grief you are in, get some help, whether that's through a counselor or through a life coach or a good friend that you can trust to give you sound wisdom. Get yourself some help. This thing is not going to go away. And if you keep ignoring it, it's only going to become bigger, and then it becomes a bigger stressor for you. Anyway, that said, I want to tell you all to have an amazing day. It's Monday, it's a new day. You're supposed to thrive in this day. And so I want you to find something that will allow you to thrive, whether that's walking, getting on the phone, talking to a good friend, somebody who encourages you, your pastor, or whoever spiritually that you can relate to. Find somebody that will lift you up and be well, my friend. Bye.